Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. And yes, we're up here in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2040, which is kind of a surprise in a sense because last year we missed the playoffs, and the year before, obviously, we won the Stanley Cup. So we had a little bit of a weird way of getting here. Obviously, we were down 3-1 in the second round, and then we decided to play Aiden Tays in net. He won 3 straight games against the Canucks, and that propelled us into this conference finals that we had against the Kraken. And yeah, we started off with a very solid first 3 games where we played great offensively and great defensively. We didn't lost in overtime in a game. We jumped in to watch that overtime, and to be honest, at that point, or a little bit actually even before that game, I honestly felt like we were going to probably be reverse swept because everything seemed to be clicking for this team, and it just seemed like something was going to happen. But we managed to bounce back from that overtime loss with a 5-1 win in Game 5. So yeah, we took that conference finals pretty easily, and now we're up here in the Stanley Cup Finals for the 4th time, I believe, in this franchise mode. We are currently 1-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals in terms of our all-time record. So can we at least finish 2-2 in terms of Stanley Cup Finals and win a second Stanley Cup in a 3-year span? Because I don't think I would ever have pictured doing this in a Draft to Glory franchise mode, but here we are, holding on with kind of a cheese team for our record in a sense, because this forward core, it's good forward core, but this defensive core shouldn't hypothetically be a defensive core that wins you Stanley Cups, but it might end up winning us 1-1. And goalie-wise, Novikov and Tays just have been really good goaltenders. Like, this is normally a goaltending combination I wouldn't say would win you a Stanley Cup, but an 87 overall isn't the type of goalie that wins you a Stanley Cup either, so this is kind of like the best cheese duo you could have. You can see Tays has a 984 save percentage through 4 games, and Novikov has a 917 through 14 games. So both goaltenders have been actually pretty good, and we have a sidelined youngster, Spencer Pusher, but we're letting him still kind of watch these games considering he was here throughout the regular season. We're letting him watch these games, though, kind of just because that way, in a sense, he's technically been a part of this team the entire regular season, so he deserves a chance to at least be a part of the Stanley Cup winning team if we end up winning. Also, Sabrin is still on the bench. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what our team could end up doing in the Stanley Cup Finals, because we are taking on a Washington Capitals team who, I don't know how they made the playoffs. They finished like 21st in the league. They went 39, 35, and 8 to get to this get to the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, they have been pretty damn good. They actually have a good-looking team, so that's a little bit scary to me, is they are definitely a lot better than they actually looked in the regular season. I don't know how this team scraped their ass to get into the playoffs, but you can see they have some solid pieces like Battaglia, Nelson, Peltier. Like, this is probably one of the better forward cores we've seen in terms of the teams we played. And then their defensive core still isn't that great either. Like, it seems like a lot of these teams we've been playing don't have the best defensive core. And in goalie-wise, they do have a fantastic goaltender, though, and they have been really good in terms of playing defensively in the playoffs. Like you'd see, this guy's got a 943 save percentage. So they are a very defensive-heavy team, it seems like, for the most part. I guess a lot of these defenders, yeah, Blaine's a plus 17 in this playoff run, same with Chaika. Hines is a plus 6, Chiptur's plus 4, Bruskowitz, or whatever you want to pronounce his last name as, plus 4, and Fraze is plus 6. So that top pairing especially has been very, very good in the plus and minus factor. And then forward-wise, I'll just skim through their stats a little bit. But yeah, in general, this is a very good defensive team, so that is a little scary. But hopefully our offense could out-battle their defensive style that they have. As I'd say we're more of an offensive team, but our goaltending has been pretty good too. So, also, if Novikov plays bad in Game 1, I might turn to Tays for Game 2. If Tays plays bad for Game 2, I turn back to Novikov. Kind of just alternate between the two of them, because both those guys, I think, are the goalies for this type of final. But anyways, let's get into game number 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We have home ice advantage for the Cup Finals. We didn't have home ice advantage at all up to this point because we had to eliminate 3 teams from our division in order to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. But here we go. Stanley Cup Finals again. I don't know if we've ever had a home ice advantage for the Cup Finals, have we? I don't think so. I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure when we lost to the Islanders, Game 7 would have been back in New York. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I think we've never had Stanley Cup home ice for Stanley Cup Finals. We might have 1 year, but it's hard to remember. Maybe it was last time when we won against Buffalo, we had home ice. No, actually we didn't, because they won the President's Trophy. So I don't think we've ever had a home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals, but if this is the first time, hopefully it is a Stanley Cup win for us. So let's see what happens. We got to win 4 games against this Caps team. Let's see what happens here. First period of the Stanley Cup Finals. And we're down 1-0. That's not a bad start. Good start for Novikov in a sense, but only 5 shots that he stopped. So yeah, Novikov, not a great start, but I mean, we're only down by a goal, so I can't complain too much. We have 11 shots on goal, though, but they are kind of, the Caps are kind of in that defensive mode right now. Like I said, their goalie had a .943 save percentage up to this point, so they are a very defensive-heavy team, so if we are not scoring goals, it's a higher chance that the Caps are going to win. So we need to have a really solid second period here. Find a way to get goals on that goaltender because he has been fantastic for them so far. So if we don't score any goals in the second period, I'm concerned that their goaltending and their defensive style might help them win. Like I said, this team barely got into the playoffs too, so I do kind of feel on the edge that we are kind of the underdogs in a sense, even though technically we might be the best team in this Stanley Cup Finals. We might be the underdogs, though. Second period. Down 2-0. Oh, their goaltender's too good. This one's not on Novikov, but I might go to Tays next game just because of the loss factor, and then I might rework the lines a little bit to try and find our offense a little bit because we have 20 shots on goal, which is pretty solid, but we have yet to score yet on their goaltender, and they have 17 shots and they have 2 goals. This one definitely isn't on Novikov. It's not on the team in general. It's just hard to find a way to score goals on a goaltender that's been playing this good, so let's see if we could have a strong third period here and get us maybe to an overtime at least. But it looks like we're going to get suffocated, in game 1. Niemi makes it 3-0 on a power play goal. But Danner breaks the shutout. That's good at least. Good to see him break the shutout because Shodin already had 2 shutouts or 3 shutouts in this playoff run so far. But, yeah, pretty prototypical game of the Capitals playing good defensive hockey. And they are going to beat us 4-1 as they get an empty netter. Only goal coming from our blue liner and Danner. We need guys like Hartnell and Parrott and Vico to score goals if we want to win. They had assists at least, but still. Those are the type of guys we need to step up in this round. And yeah, that Shodin guy, definitely a difference maker in that first game. We need to find ways to score early if possible. It's not good to lose a game on home ice in the Stanley Cup Finals, but we are down 1-0 in the series, so we need to win this game or else we're down 2-0 headed to Washington. I honestly feel like we could get swept in this finals, just based on the way that Washington got to the finals and how they finished off the season. So Tays, you're going to get game 2 since Novikov lost, and we will rework the lineup a little tiny bit, I think. Yeah, what could I do? Move Bobkov up, move Vico down. Let's try it. Let's try it. Might as well try something. And then we'll change Danny and Danner. Danny and Danner. Jeez, it's a tongue twister. Even though Danner's been really good, let's just kind of split up the two a little bit and see if Tays could continue going perfect in the playoffs. He's currently 4-0. He's been fantastic. Only he's allowed 2 goals in those 4 games. So I hope that he could have another good game here, because he has had great Stanley Cup Finals success before, obviously. So here we go, game 2. Let's tie the series headed to Washington, because if we go down 0-2, we're putting ourselves in a bad spot. First period of game number 2. 3-2 for us. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. We were down 2-0, so that kind of sucks that Tays didn't get off to a great start. This is his worst game of the playoffs so far. But then we get 3 unanswered goals from Darby, Danner, and Claxton. So their goaltender is having hit maybe his worst game of the playoffs as well. Shots are 15-13, so a lot of shots in that opening period. Can we add to this lead in the second period? Second period, 5-2. Let's go. Parrott with 2 goals in the second period. This is the type of game we live for and we play for. We're a good offensive team. They're a good defensive team. If we score a lot of goals, we're going to win games. If they shut down us, they're going to win games. But we're up by 3 goals going into the third with the shots 25-22. Let's go, Tays. Let's just lock this one down. He's had a pretty solid game here. 2 goals on 26 shots. 3 goals on 28 shots now. But, yeah, this is definitely his worst game yet. But this is also probably Shodin's worst game. But then again, we're out shooting him by a little bit too. So, power play late in the game. We do not score on it. And we are going to have, in fact, a tie series headed to Washington. So, pretty even first 2 games in a sense. Shots 39-34 at the end of it. But yeah, that's a solid effort from Tays. He's going to get the start probably game 3 since he won. So Darby from Bobkov, Danner from Claxton and Bobkov. Claxton from Bobkov and Darby. So yeah, those That moving Bobkov up seems to have helped out a lot. He had 3 assists in that game. Then Parrott from Hartnell, Parrott from Keith and Hartnell, and yeah, they got another goal. 3 stars of the game, Parrott the first star, Claxton the second star, and Darby the third. But yeah, it's an okay game from Aiden Tays. Like I said, his worst game yet, but a 912 save percentage, so no problems with that. And then, wow, Strachan was +4. So good stuff from Strachan and Daner in that game in terms of defensive play. And goalie-wise, yeah, see, for Washington, Shodin definitely had his worst game in the playoffs. And hopefully he has more of those to come. Because if we're going to score goals, we're going to win this series. If we don't score, we're going to have games like this. And it's not going to be that good. So yeah, Aiden Tays will start game 3 since he got a win. If he loses the game, it'll go back to Novikov. So we'll basically just keep going with the goalie that wins games. Just because both goalies have been so good, and I don't want to be kind of starting one more than the other. But it depends on who wins and who doesn't. Because Tays is now 5-0 with a 969. Nice. And a 105 goals against. And Novikov, 915, so that save percentage going a little bit down, but that's still pretty damn solid for a playoff run. So we'll keep that the same. And yeah, we'll keep the lineup the same as it was for that game since our offense came out of nowhere after a rough first game. Okay, so we have a 1-1 series. We're now in Washington. Obviously, we need to take one of these 2 games because if we don't take any of these games, we're going to find ourselves in a hole like we did against the Canucks where we were down 3-1 and we'd have to win 3 state games to win a Stanley Cup. So obviously, we don't want that to happen. So let's win at least one of these 2 games. And yeah, hopefully we could do that on the road. Come on, boys. First period of an all-important Game 3. And it's scoreless. That's not great in a sense, because now it seems like their goaltender's back to where he was in Game 1. However, our offense is still, maybe all of a sudden could come out of nowhere. We're out shooting them 11-9, so it was pretty even first period. Both goalies played good. Both offenses quiet, so yeah, like I said, I need our offense to be consistent, because if it's not consistent, we have games like this. This is the type of game we could lose in, because Washington, they suffocate teams. And we pretty much just blow up teams, so let's see if we can find a way to get some goals in the second period. Second period, 1-0. Okay, that's 1 goal only, but that's still maybe enough. Who knows? Shots are 26-20 in favor of us. We're up by only 1 goal. So both goaltenders still playing fantastic. Can we get some insurance here in the third period and lock down this important Game 3? Come on, boys. Let's get that win here. Getting a win in Washington would be huge for our confidence. Penalty kill. And we killed off. Nicely done. Yeah, the penalty kill has still been a lot better than it was in the first round, I think. 5-on-3 power play, and we do not score. Final 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. Aiden Tays picks up his 3rd shutout in 5 games? Or 6 games? Is it 5 games or 6 games? 6 games, I think. But still, regardless, this guy's literally picking up a shutout almost every 2 games. And we win 1-0 in Game 3, and we have a 2-1 series lead. Bowmeister with the only goal from Hartnell and Reinhardt. It's a weird combination. Wow. Yeah, Aiden Tays is maybe the biggest cheat code in the playoffs I've ever had. He gets 1st star Shodin, a 2nd star shout out to Shodin. He had a pretty good game. And Bowmeister the 3rd star with the game-winning goal. Wow, I'm surprised we won that because that's the type of games that Washington normally wins. But we managed to escape with a 1-0 win after scoring 5 the game before. So we have a 2-1 series lead. If we win this game, we have a chance to win the Cup on home ice. I don't know if we've been in the Cup Finals on home ice that much in a chance like this to clinch. Because, oh yeah, actually, against the Islanders, we had a chance to clinch the Stanley Cup win. But then that's when we gave up the shorthanded goal. Then we got the Stanley Cup win against Buffalo. Was it in Buffalo? Yeah, it was in Buffalo. I'm pretty certain. So we've never won a cup in front of our home crowd, so that'd be nice to do that this year. That would be nice. So we need to take this game if we want that to happen, probably. And yeah, we'll go back to Tays again. He's won 2 games. I wouldn't mind starting Novikov again, but Aiden Tays, I don't know what he is. He's kind of just like one of these guys. He's got Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in him. He plays he's kind of like a nobody during a regular season. Then it comes to the playoffs, and he's like the Incredible Hulk or something. Outrageous. A .87 goals against in 6 games. If I would have started him throughout the entire playoffs, he would be in the race probably for the Conn Smythe at this stage. But Other than that, I don't know who would be a Conn Smythe favorite for this team. Probably Hartnell or Parrott or somebody like that. Because Hartnell's leading the team in points right now. So, but anyways, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We need to win this game. We'd be going up 3-1, which would be huge. If we lose this game, at least we have a tie series, though, because, like I said, I need to win games on the road in order to potentially win a Stanley Cup. Okay, here we go. All important game 4. Washington, if they want to win the Stanley Cup, they got to win this game. If they don't win this game, we have 3 chances to win the Stanley Cup again. We know we've been in this type of situation before. Can we take a 3-1 series lead on the Caps and be 1 win away from winning a second Stanley Cup in a 3-year span? First period, let's freaking go. That is what we need. Like I said, we need to have these offensive games if we want a chance. Claxton and Parrott and Keith all with goals in the first period. We're up 3-0 after 1. Shodin was a great goalie up to this point, but he has had some really bad games so far. Like he's had 2 really good games. The first game, and then obviously the game we just won 1-0 in. But yeah, so far in this Cup Finals, he's definitely had his goal saving ability tested, because we've been definitely outscoring them in this series so far. Shots are 13-7 in favor of us. We're up by 3 goals. Let's just keep this the exact same in the second period, or even add another goal, whatever it takes to kind of just make sure this game doesn't get out of hand. Second period, 4-2. Okay, that's not great. That's not great. They made it 3-1. Derek Hughes makes it 4-1, but Tagley gets them back within 2. Yeah, Taze is not having his best game here, but once again, he's still winning games, so I'm going to probably still run with him after this game. But we're only up by 2 goals now instead of 3, so they are clawing back into this. But is it too little too late? Let's get some insurance in this third period just to play it safe and take that 3-1 series lead here, boys. Penalty kill to start the third, and they immediately get a goal. Oh, no. Come on, boys. It's a 1-goal game only now. We had a 3-0 lead at one point, and Darby, huge goal. It restores the 2-goal advantage halfway through the period. We are a couple minutes away from being up 3-1 on the Caps. Oh, no. Niemi makes it 5-4. Come on, Taze. Lock it down, buddy. You got it in you. I know you do. Yes, you do. Let's go. That was not a great game for Taze. 4 goals on 33 shots, but he gets the win, and we are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup again. And Aiden Taze has not lost a game yet in the games he's played. Whew, that was a scare. Washington definitely clawed back into that one, but we managed to get the victory. Claxton from Strachan, Keith from Bouwmeester, Parrott from Keith and Hartnell, Keith from Parrott and Denny, Darby from LaRose, and Strachan is the game-winning goal. Whew. Keith the first star, Niemi the second star, and Nelson the third. So their top line got going in that third period. But yeah, that was definitely the toughest game for Taze yet in the playoffs. But I'm not going to complain too much because he's literally won every single game he's played. And yeah, we're 1 win away. We have 3 opportunities to win the Stanley Cup. Hopefully we don't blow it. Because that has happened. We have came back from a 3-1 deficit before, so the Caps could honestly do that to us as well. 25 points in 23 games for Ricardo now. He didn't look like he was going to be a Conn Smythe favorite at all in the first round, but now he is potentially, because I don't think Taze is going to win it. He is 7-0 in the playoffs, though, with a .960, but mostly because of the other games. Obviously, that last game hurt him a little bit, but a .960 save percentage through 7 games is elite. Elite. Maybe actually franchise, I should say. So we are 1 win away from a Stanley Cup. I think we got to keep the lineup the exact same. Yeah, let's keep it the exact same. See if we can get that Stanley Cup win. We'll go real-time simulation for this game, I think. Yeah, we'll go real-time simulation since we have a chance to win the Cup. And obviously, if we have a chance to win that Stanley Cup, we'll intervene. I'll probably be talking over this the Stanley Cup celebration this time around, because last time around I got hit with copyright issues because of the music that was played in the Stanley Cup Finals episode. So I obviously want to talk over that this time, so then we don't run into those type of issues again. So yeah, I'm going to likely talk over it this time around, so we could actually talk of a player that gets handed the cup. I don't know if I'm going to select who wins the Stanley Cup, because I think the AI automatically assigns that type of thing, but let's see if we can win that Stanley Cup. We have not won it yet. We need to be aware of that and not let our dreams kind of like deflate us in a sense, like kind of get to the front of our mind. We need to win periods, individual periods, then we could focus on winning the cup. Real-time simulation, we're already down 1-0 early on. That's not a good sign. As Aiden Taze is in net, so he's kind of struggling a little bit. I might have to turn to Novikov soon. Who knows? We're out shooting him badly in this first period, but we have yet to score a goal. That's not good. Washington wants to have one of those good defensive games because, like I said, when they play good defensively, usually they win. We won one where we actually played good defensively and they played good defensively, but generally speaking, when our offense doesn't score, they win games. So we need to find a way to score some goals in the second period. We're out shooting them 16-7. That's good, though. We need to find a way to get a goal, though. Their goaltender's definitely having a strong game here. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Let's go, Darby. Let's go, Ted. Let's go. Let's get that next one, too. Let's get that next one. We're on home ice. It would be really nice to win a Stanley Cup in front of our fans. Showed them that support, Bobkov. Let's go, Bobkov. We're out shooting 30-19 going into the third. We're up by a goal. We're one period away from winning the Stanley Cup. We need to take it 5 minutes at a time. Let's go to 4-time simulation just in case. See if we could hold them off and win that Stanley Cup. Come on, boys. If we get the next goal, that would help a lot, but Zegras ties it up immediately, of course. I know how this game operates. I know how you operate, game. Come on, guys. Let's get that next one. Power play opportunity. It's a long power play, and we do not score on it. That's not good. I was expecting a big guy to step up there, but nobody did. Power play again. Come on. Come on, boys. It's another long power play. We do not score on it. Oh, boy. This might go to overtime in this game. Come on, guys. You got to do this for me. Final few minutes. I'm going to intervene. I'm going to intervene even though we're late in the third period. And obviously it could still go to another game, but I'm going to intervene already. I am going to intervene already just because there is a lot on the line. Like, who knows, if we score a Stanley Cup goal within the final minutes, I don't want to be accidentally missing that because of the sim engine. So, oh boy, are we going to overtime to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, or is Washington going to force a Game 6 back on their home ice? Come on, guys, let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. Keith at the draw against, I don't know who it said. Come on, guys, let's get this next one. Get Aiden Taze another Stanley Cup ring. Bouwmeester with it. Also, can Aiden Taze stay perfect in the playoff run so far? He's 7-0. Will he go 8-0? Hartnell with it. Can't get the pass across. Hartnell gets it back in deep, though. We're a few minutes away from going to overtime here in Anchorage. Zegras walks in with it. Throws it to Battaglia. Great save. What a save by Taze. That's a great way of using your blocker. Great rebound control as well to deflect that in the corner. Hartnell with it. We're into the final minute of this third period of the Stanley Cup Finals. Game number 5. Yeah, game number 5. I was like, wait, what game are we in again? Let's get it away. Don't let Nelson shoot. Nice poke check, Bouwmeester. That's a great way of using that Titan stick. Parrott with it now. Can't get by. Bouwmeester. Nelson with it. Parrott stole it. Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester with it. He's looking for some room. Finds Bobkov. He can't get a shot. Denny steps up and keeps it in. Parrott back to Bouwmeester. Keith with the shot. He scores! With 18.8 seconds left. Derek Keith might have scored the Stanley Cup winning goal. Oh my goodness. I was expecting us almost to score because we had a lot of pressure on that opportunity. Let me actually press pause quickly before we end up losing it because of the Stanley Cup Finals. But oh my goodness. When we poked it away off their stick and stuff like that, I honestly felt there was a chance because usually when the computers have trouble getting out of their zone, there's going to be a goal. This guy has problems. Pair it with a really great stick again. And then he throws it back to the point. Bouwmeester, patience. Keith gets into the slot. The goalie drops down too quick. And then Keith with the release off the glove in. And that one might win us the Stanley Cup. That might be one of the most historic goals in this team's franchise mode. Other than that Parrott goal against Colorado in the conference finals before. Oh my goodness. I just got to make sure I get like a nice chance for a screenshot here. Let's go with, yeah, something like that. Oh my goodness. Derek Keith. Derek Keith on the 42nd shot as well. And we're now 18 seconds away from winning the Stanley Cup. Oh boy. Talking over top of this is going to seem weird, but obviously, like I said, I don't want to get copyright issues. And they immediately come back in and almost score in the final 10 seconds. Oh my, that was huge saves by Taze. Final few seconds. Your Anchorage Ice Tigers have won 2 Stanley Cups in a 3-year span. Let's go. Let's go. I didn't expect us to get here again, but Aiden Taze with a perfect playoffs going 8-0 helps carry this team to another Stanley Cup. Also can't count out Novikov's performance. He was pretty solid throughout the entire playoffs. A couple bad games, but oh my goodness. I honestly didn't expect us to get back here in the slightest. Avery Parrott's going to win his second Conn Smythe of his career as well. That is awesome. I'm kind of surprised he won it because I thought Ricardo Hartnell would, but he must have had a lot of points in this game. And Avery Parrott, the Conn Smythe winner yet again. And there comes the Stanley Cup. It's ours, and we won on home ice as well, so this is great that we get another cup in front of the home crowd this time around here in Anchorage. The cup has never been so far north before. And here comes Jorgensen, maybe in his last NHL game, to get that second Stanley Cup ring. Let's see him celebrate. Who is he gonna pass it off to first, though? Because I'm not gonna select. I'm gonna let the game select for fun. But there he is, Jorgensen, 2 Stanley Cup wins. Let's go, Jorgie. That's the first time I've called him that, but whatever. And who's he gonna pass it off to? Because I'm not gonna select. Or can I select? Oh, maybe no, I can't select. Oh, who are they gonna pass it off to? They are gonna pass it off to Mika Vico, I think. Yep, they're passing it to Mika Vico. I don't mind that. He had a really fantastic first round, and that set the tone for us this playoff run. So there is Vico, the rookie. Had 12 or 13 goals this playoff run, most of them in the first round, but still, what a player. Only making $1.4 million. And who are they going to pass it off to now? Man, I can't even select on this thing. I have to let the game select. They're going to pass it off to Ricardo Hartnell. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind seeing Parrott, though, with the cup, but they're going to pass it to Ricardo. He gets a chance to go around with the cup this time around. I think he might have last time, too, but I can't remember. There he is, celebrating with the boys. Look at that. Nice little kiss in the cup. Yeah, that was a great playoff performance from Ricardo. And who's getting it last? Is it Aiden Taze? Or is it Avery Parrott? It will be. Don't give it to Strachan. Oh my goodness. You gave it to Strachan of all people? Come on. Avery Parrott hasn't gotten a troll with the cup yet in his career. They give it to Strachan. I mean, Strachan at least, this guy was bought out by us years ago. We brought him back as a free agent signing a couple times, and now he is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with this team. Crazy what some of these guys have gone through. And there he is. I am surprised they don't ever hand it to Parrott. Like, Parrott wins the Conn Smythe multiple times, and he's never held it, the cup, or we're going around in those skates. But there's the boys. Look at the hair on Morgan Denny. That little afro. There's the boys. A lot of gray hair, too, on this team. Fantastic. Wow, was not expecting to win another Stanley Cup, and now we get this part with the copyrighted music, so I'm going to talk over top of this, because obviously copyright sucks, and I don't want this to get claimed. So here is the awesome celebration thing. We're going to get to see the players' names on the Stanley Cup. And this time, Tate Ackers actually played all those games with this team. Last time around, he had his name on the cup, but never played a game. There you go. Jorgensen, Ackers, Bobkov, Bomeister, Claxton, Danner, Darby, Denny, Hagos, Hartnell, Keith, Kronwall, LaRose, Lucic, Novikov, Parrott, Pusher, Reinhardt, Sabrin, Strachan, Taze, and Vico. Damn, it took a lot for me to read that all within the time limit that actually shows this. But there you go. 2039-40 Stanley Cup champions. 2 cups in a 3-year span. And Aiden Taze got 3rd star in that last game. Some big saves in those final minutes. And then that game-winning goal for the Stanley Cup by Derek Keith with 18 seconds left. That might go down in channel history as one of the best goals we've seen in-game. Phenomenal. And the first star of the game going to Sergei Bobkov with 1 goal and 1 assist. Let's take a look at that save, though, that Taze made. Let's take a look at that save that he made. Because after we scored the goal, they almost came back right away and got a goal back. You see, Niemi, great pass there. Peltier has a great chance. That's a great save by Taze. Fantastic. And then he also, does he stop him on the rebound? No, the other rebound goes actually off the outside of the post. So they got very close to tying it right back up. But a good hit from Strachan in the final minutes also, with a great play there, helps out a little bit. We just shut it down in front of their net. Don't let them have much of an opportunity there. That was a bit of a scary play, but a great play there by Claxton, the vet. And that was enough. And we won the Stanley Cup again. We've seen, I think, every single one of these players on the ice, so won't spend too much time on all these guys, but there is the guys that were out there for the last minute. Wow, Washington had 4 guys just chilling all in the same spot. It's funny. Wow, and we get the win in Anchorage, which is nice. Shout out to that fan with the I Love Hockey sign. You love to see it. Let's go through our bench just quickly, but I'm glad Vico could get that Stanley Cup. When I mentioned, I think, in the first round that maybe he could get us to a Stanley Cup, I honestly didn't think he would, but let's take a look at these guys, get that Washington Capitals player out of our way. I don't know why nobody's passed the cup to Parrott. It's kind of weird. But there we go. On that front, there's a ref in the way. Jorgensen, another Stanley Cup win. Oh, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. We are a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I didn't expect our team to win 2 Stanley Cups. Because Draft to Glory, I didn't expect to even win 1. But we've won 2. And yeah, Aiden Tays, fantastic numbers throughout the entire playoffs. Like, I can't wait to look through these stats. I cannot wait to look through them. It was a much easier time in the Stanley Cup Finals than I thought. I felt like after we lost Game 1, we were going to get swept or something. But team bounces back with a lot of wins in a row. And yeah, fantastic playoffs. Let's advance a day so we get to the award signified thing for the AHL as well. Come on, notify me, please, game. There we go. We have won the Stanley Cup, and Calgary has won the AHL. Let's take a look at those stats. Let's take a look at those stats. And also the playoff tree. Our race to the Stanley Cup. We beat both Anaheim and Vancouver in 7 games. Then we beat the Kraken and the Caps in 5 games. So pretty good. Player stats for the Stanley Cup run. Hartnell led the team in points with 25 points in 24 games, but he did not get the Conn Smythe. They gave it to Avery Parrott with the 24 points in a plus 17. Claxton was actually close to probably winning a Conn Smythe too. 22 points. Derek Heath, 19 points. He has been kind of quiet by comparison to his former playoff self, but he's still almost point per game in his career in the playoffs. And closing in on 1,000 career points. Reinhart was solid as a 4th liner. Darby, 19 points. Bobkov, 19. Vico, 15. Most of that in the first round, but I can't complain. He had 5 game-winning goals, so Hagos and Lucic with 3 points. Nothing from Sabrin. Jorgensen with 14. LaRose with 11. And then on the defensive front, Danner 13, Bouwmeester 13, Denny 8, Strachan 4. They already sent down our other 2 guys, so we'll have to take a look at Kronwall's stats and Ackers, the 2 75s and the 74. And they already sent Pusher down too, but Novikov, fantastic playoffs, and Aiden Tays. This guy honestly should be in the Channel Hall of Fame, but I don't really feel like he could kind of compete with some of these other guys that we have in other series. But he's won 2 Stanley Cups now, and his playoff record in the last 2 years is 24-1 with 5 shutouts, probably a 940 something save percentage, and probably like a below 2 goals against average. I don't even know. He has been unreal, and he's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion now, which is crazy. I think the only players that weren't here for our first Stanley Cup win were Vico, for sure. And maybe, yeah, and Lucic, actually. Yeah, because this is Lucic. Because this is Lucic's first season, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, so Lucic and Vico are like the only 2 guys that weren't on that cup-winning team. And on the defensive front, obviously, Ackers and Kronwall weren't there. But Kronwall wins the cup in his first ever playoff run. That's pretty impressive. So there you go on that front. Let's take a look at the awards. I probably won't simulate up to the draft and stuff yet, because this is already probably going to be a long episode. But there we go, 2 cups in a 3-year span. And we've been to 3 cup finals in the last 5 years. Yep, we've been to 3 cup finals in 5 years. So, in one of those years we missed the playoffs. It's crazy. Crazy. Lukovic wins the Art Ross. Kind of surprised that the Flames didn't win the cup. Considering this guy's a 95 franchise. He also wins the Hart. Ruidell wins the Norris. Bedard the Lady Byng. Addison won the Calder. Parrott wins the Conn Smythe up for the second time in the last 3 years. Let's go, Avery. Ricky Meyer wins the Vezina. We knocked him out in the playoffs. He also won the Jennings. Rolson the Masterton. Gallagher to Jack Adams for Detroit. They almost got to the Cup Finals. Guerin wins the Selke. Lukovic to Lindsay. And Lukovic to Richard. AHL award-wise, anybody in our AHL team win some awards? Does not look like it. That guy's name was T. Eddie, and it looks like Teddy. That's funny. It's a teddy bear. Ha ha ha. Boom. Wow. Let me actually take a look quickly. Go to progress reports. I want to take a look at the stat line from the 2 guys that got sent down at the end of the season, as well as Pusher. So, Cronwall winning the Stanley Cup. Modified 11. Oh, he's dropping off. He might retire this season, to be honest. 13 points, 82 games. In the regular season, 6 points, 24. Plus 13. Who needs a 80 overall defender when you need a 75? And then Tate Ackers, 74 at 25. 15 points in the regular season, plus 14. In the playoffs, he was a plus 12. He was technically part of the Stanley Cup winning team before, but he didn't play any regular season games with that team. So, there's that. Let's take a look at the contract situation, actually, quickly. Bouwmeester, LaRose, Reinhardt, Strachan are all pending UFAs, so that's a bit iffy. But other than that, most of the teams should be the same next year. Aiden Tays, what are you wanting? 850. You know what, man? You might be a third string goalie again next year. Even though there's Volk. I'd rather get rid of Volk than Tays at this rate. Because Tays should retire here, technically. So that's that. Let me take a look, actually. Should I simulate up to the retirements? Yeah, let's simulate up to the retirements and all that stuff already. Just because I feel like we need to kind of get closure if Jorgensen retires. So, Ottawa win the draft lottery. Tampa 2nd. Chicago 3. LA 4. Columbus 5. Let's see who is going to retire. Okay, so, wow. Leon Draisaitl, 2,112 points in 2,034 games. I had injuries turned not fully off, but still he didn't get injured at all, I guess. And he played till 44 years old, so what a career for Leon Draisaitl. That is outrageous that he played that long. He only played at Edmonton and Colorado, so that's kind of nuts. What a career for this guy. One of the best players of all time. Oh my goodness. That's a long career. Very long career. And he did also play in the playoffs. Had 5 assists in 7 games. Over a point per game in the postseason. Wow. Best player to retire. And then there's a bunch of other players. I'll only mention former players if I see any. So let's see if there's any former players of ours. Like, did Festerini retire since we knocked him out in the second round? Yes, he did. 35. He dropped off a lot. Makes sense. 694 points in 1,300 games. That's pretty impressive for a 4th rounder. So, congrats on the retirement to Bryson Festerini. And, yeah, sorry that we knocked you out in the conference finals. Any other former players of us? Let's see. Curious, because there might be. Let's see. Nobody so far. There's a lot of players that retired this year. There's probably some, like, lower names or something. Nope, nobody else. That's it in forwards. How about defensively? Any former defenders of ours retire? Austin Pusher retired already at 32. That's kind of a surprise. Former 3rd rounder. Didn't get much of a chance with us, but he played in a couple NHL teams after leaving us. Yeah, we didn't really give him a shot, but the last 4 years he spent in the NHL. Not bad of a career for Austin Pusher. So there you go on that front. Anybody else? Anybody else that I recognize here? Nobody else. And in goalie-wise, Spencer Knight's the best goalie to retire. We lost to him in the Cup Finals in the first time we made the finals, didn't we? Yeah, the first year we made the finals was this year, 2030-31. He had 15 of their 16 wins. Oh, and there's another former player. If you guys remember Dominic Klusla, then you're definitely an OG of the series. He hasn't played since 2027-2028, but he was our original goaltender in the series. You can see he had 1 win in a 60-game season. He was not good, but obviously you got to start with goalies like this to get goalies like Taves eventually and win Stanley Cups. So shout out to Dominic Klesla on a great career and being an OG of this series. But no retirement to Jorgensen. That is kind of a surprise. I kind of thought he was going to retire at 35, but maybe he's going to retire at 36, like a lot of players do. Okay, we did lose some scouts to the retirement. Both of our USA West scouts, guys. So I got to remember that for next episode, if possible, to bring back some more scouts. And let's see what we got in terms of the draft class. Also, I'll check the progress reports again quickly. But draft class-wise, obviously we have the last pick in the first round. A lot of these players aren't going to make it before the end of the series, but still like to focus on this a little bit. This might be a little late. 3 years out. I'll pin him. He might be a medium 4, though. Ooh, there's a low lead gem. Lee Gamble. I think I looked at him a couple episodes ago. Do you recognize the name? I might have to take him. Might have to take him. There's also a top 6 power forward that's listed as a gem, but 4 years out. But yeah, like I said, a lot of these guys aren't probably going to end up making it to the NHL before the end of the series anyways, but if you guys want to give me some feedback for the draft, let me know. There's another gem low elite offensive defenseman for the 4th round who has a weakness in character but a strength and confidence. This guy's a cocky guy, apparently. So maybe we'll draft him with our 6th round pick. But hopefully he's not too good because it would suck since we're right near the end. So there's that. Let's take a look at the progress reports. And then I'll be it for this episode since I already showed you guys the contract situation. A lot of these guys probably statistical growth or drop-off. Yeah, statistical growth mostly. And Parrott's dropping. That's not great. That's not great at all. Is Jorgensen still listed as a second liner? He is. Kind of surprised. In the system-wise, any good prospects getting good growth? Let's see. Pusher's still 78, so he'll still be in the NHL. Walker Volk, I don't really know what I would do with this guy because I want to honestly still play with Taves, but we have Volk and Bissick to need to get a chance at some point. Addison's a 76, that's good. Yeah, and Sevsky's a 76. Leeson's a 75. So we're getting some good growth from the low elites, which is nice. So we'll probably have some guys to get into our lineup eventually in these last few years, but anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode. So it's awesome. We won another Stanley Cup. Let's see what happens these next remaining 6 seasons, I think, that we have. And see what this team could do in the last stretch. Because I honestly don't think we're going to win another cup. I know I said that before. But I honestly don't think we'll win another one. But still, wrapping up these players' careers is going to be a lot of fun to see what type of stats like Jorgensen retires with, what Parrott might retire with if he does retire. That type of thing. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.